Hi, it's Anne Marie. How are you? So next Tuesday's a big day at the polls, and there's two things on the California ballot that have to do with housing. So I thought I'd pipe in here and give you my 2 cents on them. So one is Prop 5, one's Prop 10. Prop 10, let's start with there. So it's yes on 5, no on 10 is what I'm advising. So Prop 10 has to do with affordable housing and has to do with rent control. So while I think we all could agree that we have a need for affordable housing, I'm a huge proponent of affordable housing. This is not the way to get there. Rent control historically has never worked to accomplish that. If you look at some of our the cities that have rent control, they're also the most expensive in the whole country, like New York, San Francisco, Santa Monica, West Hollywood. It doesn't work. And what will happen is landlords can then just take their homes off the market and convert them, if it's a big apartment complex, convert them to condos, or they can Airbnb or short-term rental them, or in some markets, they've just kept them vacant. So there's a lot that could be said about this one, but by passing this law, it still doesn't do anything to make sure affordable housing is in place. So just quick little highlights, and then I'll move on to the other one. It doesn't increase any funding for affordable housing. It doesn't force local communities to build the housing that's approved in their general plan, and it will not provide any immediate relief for people facing higher housing costs. Also, and I'm not sure if this specifically addresses this one, because we actually just went through something in Long Beach that almost came up. It could affect, right now, rent control affects apartment buildings, but it doesn't affect single family homes or condos, and it can in something like this. And so if I wanted to rent out my house because I got a job relocation or something, then I'd be bound to rent control rules, and there's a whole nightmare about that. And we'll also curb development. It's just not a good thing. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but no on 10, please. Okay, 5. I'm excited about 5. 5, I say yes on 5. 5 has to do with seniors moving and taking their tax basis with them. So to give you a quick background on that, in the 70s, Prop 13 came about, which said that property taxes were about 1% of your purchase price. And every year they could go very, very slightly. And it keeps things curbed. So right now, if a senior over 55 wants to move, Prop 60 says you can take this law with you and keep your tax basis with you one time. Prop 90 says you can go to a reciprocal county and use it there. But like, for example, Palm Springs is not a reciprocal county. So what this measure would do is, first of all, make it statewide. Second of all, you could use it multiple times. Now, the reason against this, and people are arguing against it, is that they're saying that it's going to mean a decrease in revenue based on property taxes. So when they go in and they buy this new place, let me give you an example. So my parents bought their home for $24,000, and let's say they sell it for $1 million. But they want to downsize. But downsizing in today's market is, still, let's say they want to buy a condo for $500,000. They could take their property base with them that they've been paying on all these years, it's very low, to this $500,000 condo, right? It has to be equal or less than your sales price. So the argument against this is that, that you're now keeping a low tax base on that new $500,000 home. That means a decrease in, the school's budget and all that. However, now somebody gets to go buy my parents' home for $1 million, and then they're paying property taxes on that new $1 million. So what it's doing is a few things. It's freeing up inventory, which we so desperately need to happen, so that because there's been a lot of baby boomers that are just sitting. They can't move. They can't afford to move, and they need to. Their houses are too big. They're 2 stories. Also for disabled people, for those that have been victims of natural disasters, there's all these implications. So this allows someone to move and we like to keep the pipeline moving. The other thing is, which is kind of cool, is let's say my parents sold their $1 million house and they wanted to downsize, but they're downsizing to Newport Beach and they want to live on the water. These are my parents. Kind of would be nice if they were. Okay, so let's say that new place that's smaller and single level and maybe has an elevator and it works for their senior years is $1.2 million. So they can take the tax basis on the $1 million of the house that they just sold, which is a low tax basis, and then on the extra $200,000, they would just pay current rate. So I think this is a great one. It was put through by the California Association of Realtors. I just think we really need to get properties moving, and I've talked to so many seniors, and of course my my peers and our parents are at that age where they're like they're just afraid to go anywhere. They can't move, and it will allow them to also move throughout California and not move out of California. So I think it's a great one. So that one's yes on 5. So that's I hope that I'm not taking too much time, but these are 2 really important ones. So yes on 5, no on 10. I'll attach some information here. If you have any questions, give me a call. Hope you found this helpful. If you want to share it, feel free. For those that don't know me, it's Marie Reggie at Keller Williams Coastal Properties in Long Beach. And no matter what you do, get to the polls on Tuesday. It's a big election. We need everyone voting. Okay, take care, you guys. Bye.